Apple's iPhone 15 Pro is now here, and while many people have found it a bit disappointing compared to previous years, if you look closely, there are actually some really nice new features that might just get you to upgrade. So in this video, I'll go through the top 10 new features in no particular order, except that I'm gonna leave the best 3 features for last. So make sure you watch through this entire video so you don't miss them. Starting from the top with feature number 10, we have the brand new action button, which is something very new and exciting because we've been stuck with the ringer switch since the very first iPhone ever. The action button basically gives you a ton of different options to launch apps and give you instant access to features like your flashlight, focus modes, or opening your camera app and taking photos, all without having to fumble around with your iPhone to wake the display and try to swipe or long press the camera button. And then making it even better, you'll have infinite customizability since you can launch shortcuts, which can basically do anything you want, from turning on your smart home accessories at home to opening basically any app out there. Now for feature number 9, we have the thinner display bezels, which is something that you get to experience day to day because you're always looking at your phone, and the super thin bezels definitely make everything seem more immersive, especially watching videos or movies. And on the Pro Max model, the bezels seem even thinner thanks to the larger display area, and I think the actual size of the phone will be slightly smaller than before, so it'll more easily fit into your hands and your pocket. Moving on to feature number 8, we have an upgrade to 8 gigs of RAM, which will help make your phone feel a bit more snappy in terms of general performance, and especially when multitasking with multiple apps open at the same time. But that's not even the main improvement you get from having 8 gigs of RAM. But before I explain that, I want to show you guys the most innovative and essential new MagSafe product from our partner MOFT, which is their new Snap Invisible Phone Tripod Stand. This thing is incredibly unique because it's super thin and it just stays on the back of your iPhone using MagSafe, but in an instant, you can unfold it into an elevated stand like this. Seriously, look at this. I've never seen this before on any product because it elevates it higher than any other stand, and it's super nice and thin. This is honestly gonna be perfect for doing FaceTime or Zoom calls, and probably for content creators on TikTok doing some videos with how much adjustability that you also get with this really strong hinge. You can even angle it down like this and shoot hands-free macro video of things on your table. And you can also mount your iPhone sideways for watching videos or movies very conveniently. But I can totally see myself using this all the time to take group photos on a timer with my friends and family on the iPhone 15 Pro, since this is so stable and has so much angle adjustability. It's also got MOFT's super nice new Movas vegan leather finish, and you can order it today using the link in the description below. Now getting back to the iPhone 15 Pro's top features, the main improvement you get from 8 gigs of RAM is that you'll be able to run and cycle through more apps without them closing on you when you come back to them, which used to happen all the time with paused YouTube videos, Twitter, and Facebook that would totally reset, which was super annoying. But now it's gotten a lot better, and it'll probably be flawless with the 8 gigs of RAM on the 15 Pro. For feature number 7, we have the new A17 Pro chip. Now, while the 10% single core and 20% graphics performance improvements don't seem that great compared to our expectations, there are definitely some good improvements with this new chip. Apple mentioned that this new chip is more efficient, so sustained performance should be getting an improvement, especially while gaming, where in the past, the power would kind of spike all over the place due to the thermals, so we should now get more consistent performance. The new A17 Pro also comes with a redesigned neural engine that is now twice as fast, which is solely responsible for a bunch of the new camera-related features that I'm going to talk about later on in this video. The A17 Pro also comes with a dedicated AV1 decoder, which takes care of playback of YouTube videos and anything else with that codec to improve efficiency. And there's also a new USB controller, which I'll get into in just a minute. And don't forget the new hardware ray tracing, which makes it a pro class GPU to support the AAA games of the future, like the 4 that Apple just announced. Getting into feature number 6, we have the brand new 5x telephoto camera for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The new camera uses a new tetra prism lens design, which reflects light 4 times inside of the camera, which basically creates the necessary light distance required to reach 5x zoom, which is actually very innovative compared to the rest of the industry. Every other phone with a 5x lens uses a periscope lens design, which is basically a smaller side-mounted sensor, which means that the camera bump and phone itself need to be a bit thicker to support it. And a huge benefit with the new 5x camera is that the aperture is the same f2.8 as the 3x lens, which means that it'll take in the same amount of light, so low light photos will look just as good and there won't be any additional noise. Now moving on to feature number 5, we have a silent upgrade that Apple didn't really mention, which is Wi-Fi 6E support on the 15 Pro models. This finally enables the new 6 GHz Wi-Fi band, so you can get even faster speeds than before, and it enables thread support so you can get a dedicated network for connecting and controlling products in your home, essentially being a low power and low latency mesh network. For feature number 4, we have the fact that Apple finally redesigned the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max's chassis so that it's more easily replaced, which is a huge deal for the repair industry. And not only that, but it has a big advantage for regular users since it just became much less expensive to replace the back glass if it gets cracked or damaged. So that's a big bonus feature for anyone who drops their iPhone a lot and has cracked the back glass in the past. And now for the actual top 3 features of the iPhone 15 Pro in order, let's start with number 3, which is the new titanium metal design. This right here is a big deal because we've been stuck with stainless steel since the iPhone 10, so it's really nice to get something unique and fresh again with the brushed titanium look. But there are actually some real benefits to the titanium other than aesthetics and design. First of all, it makes the iPhone 15 Pro models around 10% lighter than the previous ones, which will definitely be noticeable in the hands, and it'll make it hurt less when you accidentally drop it on your face while laying down in bed and dozing off. Another benefit is that it won't be as glossy anymore, so it's gonna have better fingerprint resistance, and titanium also gives the iPhone better heat dissipation, so games will run better, as well as other apps that put a consistent load on the chip. Overall, it just looks and feels more premium and high-end than before, knowing it's made out of titanium, just like how the Apple Watch Ultra really looks premium while being lightweight. Now for top feature number 2, we have the new 24 megapixel camera output and the new automatic portrait mode. For the first time in 8 years, Apple's iPhone 15 and 15 Pro models now automatically shoot 24 megapixel photos as the new standard instead of 12 megapixels like it's always been. Now, with a 24 megapixel output by default using the main 1x camera, photos should look noticeably more sharp compared to previous iPhone models and Android phones, and especially if you zoom in and do some pixel peeping. Now, at the same time, Apple also announced automatic portrait mode, which will turn on portrait mode whenever it detects a face or a person. And even further, the regular camera mode will now capture depth data even when you're not using portrait mode, so that you can go in later and turn it into a portrait photo, as well as change the focus point, which is an absolutely great feature which can save portrait shots that were misfocused. And my favorite part about this feature is that it means we now finally have 24 megapixel portrait photos compared to last year on the 14 Pro, where every single portrait was always limited to 12 megapixels with no option to shoot 48 megapixel Pro RAW portrait photos. And now for the number 1 new iPhone 15 Pro feature, we of course have the switch to USB-C. This is by far the biggest deal because the Lightning port has been holding the iPhone back for far too long, especially the 14 Pro models, which could shoot in high quality ProRes. This will be a huge deal for allowing you to use just one cable for your iPad, your Mac, and your iPhone. You can now transfer files up to 20 times faster than before, which is a huge deal for large backups and ProRes videos, which you can now record at 4K 60 FPS to an external SSD from the iPhone, making it easy to transfer to a Mac for editing. All iPhone 15 models now support DisplayPort for up to 4K HDR video mirroring and video output to displays and TVs. And a huge deal to me is being able to charge other devices like your Apple Watch or AirPods directly from your iPhone 15's USB-C port, which can be a life changer if you're out backpacking or camping with no power adapters on hand. But there you guys go, those are the top 10 best new features for the iPhone 15 Pro, and if you think I missed any, comment them down below and subscribe for our ultimate comparison video coming up this Friday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.